guy talked to a 12-year-old though.
Oh man,
you were 12 once. I mean,
Yeah, and it was Halo and what else? Football.
This kid talks about the same stuff we do.
Surfing.
Awesome. Welcome back, everyone. Episode 8. Special guest with us today, Blair Wheeler. We have Daryl with us. You know, it's Caleb and Kyle. He isn't going to be here today, but want to first get into PGA recap, and then after that, we're going to talk about giving away custom PGA tailor-made bag. In order to enter to win this bag, this video has to get to 1,000 likes, and then you have to like, you have to subscribe, and you have to comment on the video. You can leave anything comment. You can talk about the conversation. Daryl, what did we say? We want people to comment if they can't think of something. That doesn't suck.
That doesn't suck.
That doesn't suck.
Our tag phrase here on the podcast.
But like I said, it's a limited edition. If you saw the TaylorMade guys this weekend, they were carrying this bag. So this video has to get to 1,000 likes. You have to subscribe, and you have to comment on the video.
Yeah, listeners, these bags are really special. So TaylorMade does something really cool for a staff program. Every year for all the majors, they come out with a limited edition bag specifically for that major. So these bags are extremely rare. We're very fortunate to get our hands on them. I've been a long-time staffer. Thanks, Chuck Inlow, our TaylorMade rep, for hooking us up. But, yeah.
Perfect. Well, speaking of the bag, how about that tournament?
It was pretty epic. I mean, I am a big fan of LIV, so therefore I'm a big fan of Brooks and Bryson and Phil and Cam and all those guys. So, I mean, for one of those guys to win and have after Brooks breaking down to the Masters, then coming back and saying he was going to come back and win like a tournament soon.
Yeah.
I mean, good for him.
I mean, essentially there was there was so many storylines, but there was two storylines this weekend between Brooks Koepka. I mean, back to 2019, 2020 Brooks, like
2017, 2018.
Yeah, you're right. Just dominated.
Yeah.
Dominated the field. And then you have PGA Professional. We talked about last week. Will maybe one of those guys make the cut? Unlikely. We got that and more with Michael Block.
Yep.
I mean, we'll dive more into Brooks Koepka for sure. But Michael Block stole the show. They kept saying it was a block party. It made sense. It showed that week.
100%. Was a golf professional in Southern California at Bighorn Golf Club and Redlands Country Club. Got to know Michael Block really well. Played being a TaylorMade staffer as well. Played against him many times. Unfortunately, I've been absolutely destroyed by him too many times. Guy's just an absolute beast. Super competitive, but super humble. Such a great guy. Reached out to him, told him, congratulations, and immediately reached back out to me as well. So super humble and just a great human all the way around. Great golfer, great golf professional. So
I mean, to show up in a tournament he's played in 5, but
he's played in 5 PGAs.
He's qualified for 5 PGA championships now. Wow. Well, 6. His future's going to be 6. I mean, he's automatically in next year, but I mean, he's a stud. Like, he has always been one of the top golfers in the country as far as PGA professionals. Yeah. But I mean, he did such a great job representing the PGA of America. And I would go out to say that the PGA Championship as a major has been strong the last few years. It's been one of the most enjoyable to watch for sure.
That was probably one of the most enjoyable Sundays, besides the Masters, that I've had in a really long time. Mm-hmm. And just the fact to think about a guy like us out there, holes it out on the par 3, and just everybody back at his home club at Arroyo Trabuco just going nuts.
That doesn't suck.
No, it does not suck. I think for
with
me,
Rory.
With Rory. I mean, Rory giving him a hug. He doesn't even have a clue what's going on.
He's only 2 over for the round heading in, so it's not like he trunk slammed and checked in the final round. He was still in it.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't in contention, but that being said, to be right there and to give yourself a chance to qualify for the next year, I mean, at that golf course. I mean, how many great players played poorly this week? I mean, John Rahm on the booth, he was like, "How much is he beating me by?" Yeah, I mean, game recognizes game.
Yeah, I think he beat him by 6 strokes. Yeah, so I mean, you beat the world's best player by 6 strokes. That's strong.
Yeah,
as a club pro. But I think the shot for me that made my Sunday and what was most impressive was a shot on 18 when he missed it right in the rough, kind of pulled it left of the green, had it almost impossible up and down, had to throw it up high, land it soft, hit it perfectly in the fringe, trickled down, and then that putt, and what he didn't realize at the time was that putt put him, if he made it, was in the top 15, so he gets to come back next year, with exemption, and that's huge.
Well, he got into they gave him a sponsor's exemption this week. I think the RBC Canadians giving him a sponsor's exemption, so he's going to have some more opportunities to play. I mean, for a guy, they put up a thing I saw this morning. He's made up to $4,000 in his section events this year, which is pretty good.
$4,000.
$4,000 in section events. Okay. Made $288,000.
Good for him.
This past week. So
good for Blair.
But I will say I've self-proclaimed myself, Blair, as the LIV guy on this podcast.
Oh, cool.
I still haven't quite figured out which team I'm leaning toward. I like the Range Coats because they have the best logo.
Yeah. But you can do the team picker online and pick your team.
Yeah. That being said, I've always been a Brooks Koepka guy.
Yeah.
I'm always the person that if there's a guy out there ruffling feathers and majority of the community may not like him, I'm going to gravitate towards that guy.
So do you like Patrick Reed too?
That's
not going that far.
Let's not go that far. I think he has the best short game on tour.
Yeah.
His short game's stupid, but I was fist pumping Brooks. I think my favorite shot of the tournament was Victor Hovland plugs it in the bunker, right, on 16. Just knifes it, plugs it in the bunker. He has to go through 5 minutes on how to take a drop. These golf professionals should know how to take a drop by now. But
is that the one where he had the club out and he was measuring?
Well,
I think they were just trying to see what the best location was.
They're trying to make sure he didn't go closer to the hole. They did the same thing with Corey Connors on Saturday, but for Brooks to sit there and wait, right? He has a past history with maybe being impatient. Wait, and then just stuffs it and makes birdie on top of it, to seal up the tournament. That was ridiculous.
I also think the shot on 18, that he hit in there. I mean, these guys are so good. I mean, I don't even know how many people were around that 18th green, but you sit there and instead of let me just kind of guide this thing in, make par, and get out of here, he stuffs it to 10, 15 feet and then drains it.
I mean, he's been playing well on LIV.
Yeah. He's been playing really well.
For the last couple months, for sure.
Yeah, and he, admitted it when he was on the PGA Tour. These tournaments leading up to majors don't mean anything to him. He only cares about majors, right? So he can play well on LIV, that's great. But for him, he only cares about 4 tournaments a year. Mm-hmm. So, and he played tied for second in the first one, wins the second one. It's going to be interesting to see what he does at the U.S. Open and the Open.
Yeah, I mean, it's he said something on Wednesday in his press conference when they asked him if he feels he should be picked for the Ryder Cup team. And he goes, well, technically, if I go 3 for 3 on the next majors, how are you not going to pick me? Most people look at that and they're like, wow, that's pretty cocky. Well, he's knocked one of those out. Now he has 2 more to go. He's on the Ryder Cup team. There's no chance he's not on the Ryder
chance
Cup.
That he's
ZJ has put himself into a tough spot and an awkward position by coming out and saying earlier in the year that the LIV guys wouldn't be picked.
Yeah.
So you have DJ who's playing great golf. You have Patrick Reed who's playing great golf. I mean, Patrick Reed was tied for 9th. DJ didn't play great at the PGA, but he's played great on LIV. You have Brooks that's dominating everybody else.
Yeah. Taylor Gooch.
And Taylor Gooch. He hasn't played well in the last 2 events in Oklahoma and then at the PGA, missed the cut. But he's won 2 LIV events. What other American can you say has won 2 golf tournaments this year at the highest level of golf? Brooks. Taylor Gooch.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Oh, Scotty Scheffler. That's the only one.
But Scotty
Scheffler is always
he's on the team. He's number 2 in the world.
He's number 1 now.
He jumped.
But
John
like Scotty Scheffler said, world ranking means nothing.
Yeah.
So it's funny. The number 1 golfer in the world says world ranking means nothing. Yet we have a big world ranking issue with LIV and all that right now. But I would especially. I think Zach Johnson needs to remember when making these picks, he's not representing the PGA Tour. He's representing the PGA of America. The PGA of America puts on the Ryder Cup. It's not a PGA Tour affiliated event. So,
but you also have
You
the
need to-
CEO of the
yeah.
PGA of America, Seth Waugh. Is that how you say his name?
Yeah.
Came out last week and he's like, "Yeah, the LIV guys shouldn't play." So that's it. It just adds to the divide that is there between LIV and the PGA Tour, which
Yeah.
the PGA of America, all the majors and the governing bodies should be separate from that conversation, from the
Yeah.
PGA Tour to LIV.
But Brooks Koepka is now number 2 in the Ryder Cup ranking, so he's in. He's on
in.
the team, so we don't have to worry about that. I mean, but obviously we've talked about it. Tell us how you've kind of got connected with LIV.
Yeah, so I guess it was right when they announced LIV. I was a fan. I thought the team idea was cool because I am a fan of Ryder Cup, President's Cup, like all the team events. The Olympics now is cool to me. And as a traditional sports fan, team sports fan, like I like the team sports in golf. I know it's not what we see every week, but it's really cool for me. So when they announced that, I was like, man, this is gonna be cool. This is a cool idea. I like it. From a viewer perspective and a fan perspective, I like the fact that it is a shorter time period. It's 3 days. It's consolidated into 5 hours instead of like a 16-hour event, right? So for the viewer perspective, you get to see everybody on the course at the same time. But I reached out to them and I was like, hey guys, I love what you're doing. If I can be involved in any way, let me know. Would love to be. And they invited me and gave me access more than I've ever gotten at a PGA Tour event. Mm-hmm. Like, because I go to a PGA Tour event and I'm just a
You just
spectator.
get like a standard like media pass?
Not
or?
a PGA Tour.
No, okay.
No, I've been to a bunch and I'm just a spectator. But I can't do anything for social media wise. And I guess we'll get into like my background there.
Yeah.
Because the PGA Tour owns all the rights to the media coming out of their events. So if Daryl, you go to the Wells Fargo and you take a video of Rory McIlroy and you post it, the PGA Tour has the right to pull that down because they own the media rights. So anyways, I have to be very wary about what I do there. And Liv was like, hey dude, come do whatever you want. Here's like a behind the ropes pass. Here's access to everything. And I went and I had a great time and I've become friends with a lot of the guys on Liv, and I'm still friends with a lot of the guys on the PGA Tour. And it's just a different golf event. It's more fun. It's like if you took the waste management, scaled it back a little bit, and had it 7 weeks a year in the United States. That's what a LIV.
Pretty cool. The first video that kind of that I was like, dang, he has a pretty good gig with LIV is when you got to do like you got to walk holes with Cam Smith.
Well, I played with Cam Smith.
Or yeah, you played
so
with
I've
him.
played in 3 pro-ams on LIV, and I was supposed to go tomorrow to play in DC, but decided not to.
Yeah.
So I've played in 3 pro-ams. The first one was Graham McDowell and Richard Bland in Boston. Second one
Another
was,
major winner.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Second one was Cam Smith and Laurie Cantor. And the third one was Ian Poulter.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
That like when you posted those videos, and for our listeners, I'm sure you have seen Blair's videos somewhere.
I would hope so. I would hope so.
But when you post those videos and you're up close, and I think you were talking about Cam Smith hitting behind a tree or something like that, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, he's playing with the hottest golfer in the world right now.
Yeah.
Like Cam Smith has taken over golf because this is fresh, right?
So I played with him in October of last year. He
Yeah.
won the Open Championship, August?
Yeah, 2 months or a month and a half prior.
Yeah, a month and a half prior, he'd won the Open Championship. He goes to LIV, and at the team championship at Trump Doral, I got paired with Cam Smith, and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I played like crap, but it's fine.
Give us, I was going to say, I mean, leading into it, because like you said, we're going to get more into the social media stuff, kind of give us a little bit of a day in the life, day in the grind of Blair Wheeler.
Bro, it's not exciting. The internet, and if you look at my social media channels, you would think that I play more golf than I do. I play like once every 2 weeks, maybe. I'm a husband, I'm a dad, I have 2 kids. Our kids go to the same school. So I don't get to play a lot of golf. But I am strategic about when I go film videos or when I go film content and how I bring that back and share that online. So, And over the past year, I've started sharing the more relatable, like I call it Golf Husband series.
I was gonna say you're probably the world's favorite, or
The
probably
the internet's golf husband?
Internet's golf husband. Either the most people think it's funny, or people are like, "Dang, I wish I had his life."
Well, if you go look at the comments, like it could go one of two ways. It could be like, "Aha, that's funny," or "Look at this guy. He's just a stereotypical guy. He's going to play golf and leaving his wife with the kids." Like, and I'm like,
Something.
I'm like, bro, come on. This is like, just because you see it on the internet, it's not reality.
Exactly.
So, but people think it is, and it's funny. So, anyways, the Golf Husband stuff has been cool. It gets millions of views, which I didn't think was going to happen when I started doing those. And yeah, so, but a day in the life, to bring it back to your original question, I'm very normal. I'm a normal guy. I just happen to have 50,000 followers on the internet, right? So I have a real job. I have a family. I'm constantly working, but some of my work is getting to play golf with Cam Smith, you know? And I have to constantly like pinch myself and say, hey, you should be like remembering this moment, because not everybody's getting this opportunity. And yeah, it's work for you. And it's just like, this is an everyday in your life sort of deal, but this isn't every day for everybody else, you know?
Yeah.
So it's an amazing situation I've built myself, I guess.
I was gonna say you had to build it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like you can just flick a camera on and be good.
No. It takes practice. It takes a lot of work. Like, I was very hesitant to do, so I have to be very aware of what's going on social media and algorithm changes and video, all that stuff. And I was very hesitant to do anything on video for the longest time, just because I didn't want to. And it's taken off since I started doing that 3 years ago.
Yeah. I was going to say I was always interested in, if you're picking up the kids from school and you're meeting a new parent and they ask, Blair, what do you do for work? Do you call yourself content creator, influencer? Like what? I know you own some businesses, and we'll get into that. But.
Yeah. So I do. It depends on who's asking. Like if they recognize me from the internet, I'm like, I am a digital media personality, because my whole goal with it is to bridge it more than just influencer. I hate the term influencer, even though I am, people come to me and I influence buying purchases. They ask me questions, they do whatever, right? So I know that tomorrow, just like Vine back in the day could just go away. Like Instagram could just go away tomorrow. TikTok, Twitter, all that stuff could just go away tomorrow, like that. So my whole goal is to bridge off of just being a person on Instagram, get a role outside of that. Get a role on TV. Go with Roger Steele and do some CBS stuff. Go with Amanda Renner. Do some course commentating. That's my goal of it. But we'll see. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
That's my big goal for everybody.
Big picture. I mean, that was going to be a question, and we were probably going to end with that of what's next for Blair Wheeler. But
I can tell you off camera, but we can't talk about it on yet.
I was going to say biggest thing here, and you talked about a lot of companies come to you to essentially promote their product, help. I mean, your bag's right behind us. You're a PXG guy. Mm-hmm. How long have you been with PXG?
4 years. So I've been a PXG ambassador for 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say, how long have they been around?
Longer than 4 years.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been a while now.
I think it's 7.
They still feel so fresh.
I think I should know this. And they're probably going to be like, Blair, you should learn the history of the brand. But
I'm sure you know plenty of the history.
Yeah. So I think they came out in 2012-ish, 2013 maybe. Sounds, I don't know, Miles. You can
Miles is typing.
2014.
Ooh,
I was close. I was a year and a half off maybe.
Yep. So almost 10 years.
2014 they came out, and obviously have the claim to be one of the best clubs on the market, which I agree with. A lot of the best products on the market. But yeah, people come to me and they ask me questions about what I'm playing, why I'm playing it. And for the people who don't follow me, I'm a very average golfer. Like if you look me up on Gin, I'm a 9 handicap. I'm trying to get lower. Maybe Daryl can help me with that. We'll see. I got the club championship at River Landing coming up. I got to get some work in.
Yeah.
But I'm a very average golfer, so it's relatable to a lot of people. They see Zach Johnson or Jason Kokrak or any of these guys on tour playing PXGs, but they're not playing the clubs that like the normal person would play, that you see at Landfall or Porter's Neck or wherever, right? They are playing blades typically. and blades specifically made for them in their swing. And granted, PXG is very staunch on getting fit, which I agree with. You should always get fit, right, guys?
I think
absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But like, people are asking me, like, what are you playing? Why are you playing LA Golf shafts? Why are you playing the extra forgiving head and not the regular one? So people come to me and ask me those questions about PXG, about any of the other brands that I work with. And I'm very honest with them and saying, like, hey, dude, this is what I have found that's best for me. Try it. Might work for you, might not, but just toy with it. But people come to me and ask me that stuff because I am a normal person. I'm not some guy that you see on TV that's playing golf every week.
Yeah, I mean, you're relatable.
Relatable. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the word I was going to use.
Biggest thing is, I think, with what I've noticed with your PXG partnership, I mean, another huge PXG player. We see him every year on the first tee of the Masters, Gary Player. Tell us about your connection with Gary Player.
So I met Mr. Player at a store opening, a PXG store opening in Dallas, and he and I both have a love of fitness, and we talked. We were supposed to be like mingling and talking with like the people in Dallas, right, that were there, because they had myself, Gary, Wyndham Clark, who was a PXG player at the time, and Cassandra Meyer, who's a long drive athlete and influencer with me. They had the four of us at this thing, and Darius Rucker was there, right? Nice. They had all five of us because he's a PXG ambassador as well. And our jobs there is to mingle and network and just say hello and make people want to buy PXG, or make people want to like PXG. So he and I started talking about fitness and ice baths and like all like the inside baseball stuff that I'm interested in away from golf. And then about 2 months later, his grandson, his team called me and they're like, "Hey, do you want to come to Florida with Mr. Player?" And I said, "I would love to." So I flew to Florida.
I was going to say, is that a question? I mean,
again, that doesn't suck.
That does not suck. So I flew to Florida. I was meant to play golf with him, or I was meant to go work out with him one day, play golf with him the next day. And the workout got canceled because he got invited to play golf with President Trump. And so I got stood up for President Trump.
That doesn't suck.
That doesn't suck. Never been more happy to be stood up in my life. I was like, that's fine, guys. So I played golf with him, and yeah, we've been friendly ever since. He gave me tickets to the Masters for the first time. I typically go to Augusta with him and play with him at Champions Retreat. One of the courses he's designed, he designed it with Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus. They all designed one.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, it's the only course in the world where the big three, Arnold, Jack, and Gary, have designed 9 holes.
Is that in Florida at the Squire and the, is that?
No, that's in Florida. So that's like that. That's the World Golf Hall of Fame.
World Golf Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the Squire, the something in the night or something.
Slammers. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but they all designed 9 holes of Champions Retreat Golf Club. They play the first 2 rounds of the Augusta National Women's Amateur there, and then they go to Augusta National on Saturday and finish the tournament there. But they, it's an amazing course, and if you have the opportunity to go to Champions Retreat, jump at it. It's so fun.
Yeah, I noticed that from your videos that you put out from this past year's Masters week. I mean, the place looked pure.
Where's it located?
Augusta. Well, it's technically in Evans, Georgia, but it's like Georgia. 15 minutes from Augusta National. Georgia.
I mean, another great course on there is Reynolds Plantation.
Yeah.
Yeah, in Oconee, right? Lake Oconee.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I think that's the coolest thing. I mean, seeing of what you do and who you get to be around, but then you also get to be around one of the, greatest golfers of all time. Player. I mean, and obviously he's a character.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah, very much so.
He's always all over the place now.
I have videos of him doing like high kicks, right? And half the stuff we film with him, like if you're watching this, you guys know, for social media, you need to have videos that are 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And you ask Mr. Player a question, and he goes 3 minutes talking about a topic. I'm like, Mr. Player, who do you think is going to win the Masters this week? And instead of giving me this like short little, like, oh, I think Scotty Scheffler's playing really well. What? No. He talks about the course. He talks about course conditions. He talks about what it means to be a Masters champion, how you have to conduct yourself as a Masters champion, how you have to act the final round to win for the first time. Like, he gives you so much information. It's like information overload. And by the time he answers the question, you forgot what the question was. But it's awesome. It is so cool.
And the whole time you're just like zeroed
You're
in.
zoned in. My wife texted me and she's like, "What are you doing?" Like I have like 7 texts from my wife when I'm playing golf with them, and I'm like, "I'm sorry, I can't answer these." Like,
well, you are a golf husband.
I am locked in. Yeah, I'm a golf husband. But I am locked into these conversations with Mr. Player because he is so like just chock full of knowledge that you're just trying to absorb everything you can when you're there with him. Like I was asking him some stuff about course design because he's designed, Miles, you could probably check this, like 80 plus golf courses around the world. And he was telling me that the 9th hole on his 9 Championship retreat is the best hole he's ever designed. And we were just talking about why it's the best hole. And I mean, it's insane.
I know there's a Gary Player course down in Myrtle Beach.
Blackmore.
Blackmore. It's always a fun little track. Mm-hmm. Fun little track. Now you brought it up. You're big into golf fitness, right?
Just fitness in general, but
yeah. Now you started a new company, Pliability.
I didn't start it. So through COVID, I was playing a lot of golf like everybody else and had a lot of time on my hand. I'm a member at River Landing, and I was going out to the course a lot and just watching guys on the range. They weren't warming up. They weren't doing anything. They were getting straight out of their car, their truck, maybe having a couple swings, and then they were just starting to hit balls, and they were groaning and complaining about their back hurting and whatever. So at the time, the company was called ROMWOD, Range of Motion. It's an acronym for Range of Motion Workout of the Day. And I approached them with this idea for golf mobility. And little did I know they were in the process of rebranding and going into different sports. So they hired me to oversee all of our business in golf, right? Because mobility is such a big thing in golf that it's like, I think that is the most overlooked part of golf and your golf game, because everybody talks about your swing and getting shallow and like all these like different gimmicks that you can buy. Sorry, Golf Forever. I know it's behind me. But you talk about all these different things that you can buy for golf, but nobody talks about what you can do to get your body ready for golf. So I've worked with, one of the first things I did was I signed Lee Westwood because he fit what I thought was the perfect golfer for our brand. An older guy who's playing his best golf later in life, found fitness later in life, and somebody that focuses on mobility. So we signed him, and we worked with him and our team of physical therapists and coaches and all that stuff to develop golf mobility programs, and we're constantly coming out with more of them. So it's like 20 minutes a day of just stretching, static stretching, and then some corrective movements that are just zeroed in and geared towards golf, like thoracic spine rotation, hip mobility, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say.
Yeah, I was going to add to that.
Yeah.
As a teacher, the number one thing that hinders me from helping someone that I cannot physically fix is someone's mobility.
Yeah.
And usually a swing flaw will derive from some type of either hip, knee,
mobility issues.
Yep. All the time.
Yep. So with Pliability, one thing we did for PGA and golf professionals is we started a staff program so that the PGA professional can get a portion of the students' monthly subscription, but it gives them something to say, hey, you have some hip issues. You can't get into this position because your hips don't activate properly, your hips don't move properly. Here's a 2-week free trial of Pliability. Go try it. Come back in 2 weeks and let's see what we can do. Like, let's see what we
That's pretty
get
cool.
into that. And then it hopefully gets them to like do Pliability on a daily basis. It brings them back to you for another lesson. And it gives you like some accountability from the student's perspective. Because I've taken a ton of lessons and I'll leave, and same with the Gary Player stuff. I'm like, what did I talk? Like, what did I learn today? I don't have any notes. It's like I have to record lessons because I just don't remember what Daryl or whoever was helping me said.
Yeah.
But with Pliability and the PGA professional program, it's a good like homework that you go do,
Yeah, it sounds like another kind of. It's just if you're a teacher, it sounds like another tool. And you go look at our staff bags in the teach bay. They're going to have alignment rods, noodles. I'm I'm a firm believer that you can't teach one golf swing to two people.
Oh yeah,
Everybody's different because of their mobility, right? I'm a bigger guy, but I'm pretty flexible for being a bigger guy, so I can do some things with the golf club. But there's also other things that I know, unless I physically change, I can't do this. So why would you even try it? And that's it. Sounds like kind of with the pliability, you kind of help assess that to give somebody more direction.
Well, we have what I think is cool, and this came from our CrossFit background. We have a mobility test that you can set the phone up in front of you or the iPad, and it guides you through this stretching test, right? And it tells you what your ailments are. Like I know I have really tight hips, so I focus a lot of my mobility work on my hips. But I mean, like you said, everybody's different, but everybody could move better and everybody could be a little more flexible. And that even goes up to the highest levels of the sport.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of golfers out there that, biggest one that it probably comes closer to is Jason Day.
Yep.
Jason Day has had to completely revamp his golf swing to play golf. Now, he's fortunate that he found something because it's been a long road. He won recently. Didn't work this past week, but he should have played a practice round.
Probably should have played a practice round at Oak Hill. I saw that. He was like, oh, yeah, I'm probably not going to see the course until Thursday. And I was like, seems like a bad idea.
Now, obviously, you still see guys out there that, when you think of an athlete, you think of a football player, someone that runs track. I mean, there's so many. We've been, I would say we've been taught to think athletes as these one-off specimens that are just ridiculous and have natural ability. But golfers, you'll have guys that look like me, but majority of the golfers now that are at the top of their game, they don't look like me.
Well, dude, even the guys that are bigger guys, they're training.
They're moving.
John Rahm, but he trains every day.
Yeah.
He works out. All of those guys going to the LIV tournaments. I've become friends with Colby Toulier, who works at Joey D Golf Fitness down in Jupiter. Right. And Colby trains DJ, Justin Thomas, Brooks, Lexi Thompson, the Cordas, everybody. And I've been down there to work out with those guys, and everybody's in the gym. Everyone, Bo Hostler, he's a bigger guy, but he's recently lost a little weight, but he's working out all the time. And I think he works out with the Joey D team.
Yeah, they got quite a, what will they call it, the stable. So
they got a stable.
They got quite the stable down.
Dude, when I go to LIV, he's working out with DJ, Gooch, Harold Varner, everybody on the aces. So it's Peter Uline, Patrick Reed, you name it, and they probably work out at Joey D's.
That's pretty cool.
It's a cool facility.
I was gonna say, and it's typically with your stuff, can the pliability go into that gym? It's just just another.
We can. We haven't got to that point yet because we just we launched the golf specific mobility in January.
Oh, okay.
We've been working on it for a long time, but we launched it in January and we filmed some more a few weeks ago. So we constantly have new stuff coming out, but we haven't really ventured into that golf specific training facility. My goal was get some golfers, get some influencers, get it out in front of people, get the golf programming out there, start up a staff program for PGA professionals to have another tool in their bag, get all that stuff going. And the next step is getting some of those guys like Joey D and Colby and getting those guys on the program.
Thank you, by the way, for sending me the staff program.
You're welcome.
Forward to.
Have you tried it yet?
No.
So your homework, Daryl, is to try.
So you remember those guys who you're saying that just go up on the range, make a few swings, and play golf? You're looking at two of them.
Well, I tell you what was eye opening. Last week, we have a volleyball team here in Loggerhead, and one of our most athletic guys who played collegiate volleyball wasn't 5 minutes into our first match and ruptures his Achilles tendon.
Oh my God!
Had surgery yesterday.
Tyler, hope you're feeling better, buddy. But it just was a big wake up call.
Yeah.
As you get older, you don't have the flexibility that you used to, and it takes me 3 days to recover from a night of volleyball.
Oh, I'm just now recovered. That being said,
when was it?
It was last Wednesday.
That
being said,
a week later,
I had a month where leading up to U.S. Open qualifier and stuff, I was probably feeling the best I felt in a long time.
And what were you doing?
Well,
Not drinking.
Stretching, not drinking, walking a lot when I'm playing.
Yeah.
I mean, mentally just eating better.
Yeah.
I mean, people don't realize how much food can do
Food is
for the brain.
So for 2 years, I wore a Whoop strap.
I have
band,
one,
right?
yeah.
So I learned, I don't wear one anymore, but I learned that I can pretty much do whatever I want fitness-wise. I can drink whatever I want, which is probably scary. But I can't eat heavy carb meals because then my sleep will be in the trash, which makes my recovery in the trash, and everything else is based off your sleep, right? Yeah. So like if I eat pasta or pizza or anything that's like a heavy carb, I can't do it. But I can have as much wine as I want, so that's nice.
Yeah,
that's real nice.
I was gonna say once you wear the Whoop band, it's like you kind of teach yourself, like you learn real quick. So I don't wear mine as much as I should.
Yeah.
I mean, I wore mine for a month, and then go up to Boone, celebrate my girlfriend graduating college.
Nice.
We know how those celebrations go. Come back and try to play volleyball. All that month, that great month I had, out the window.
Yeah.
Gone.
Yeah. But it's all about getting on the horse, right? So you don't like just let the bad outweigh the good.
Yeah.
And one of the things, like Gary Player is, again, very into fitness and has been since the 50s. He was probably one of the first guys to take fitness seriously. There's that famous photo of Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus like sitting on their back smoking cigarettes, and Gary Player was doing squats, right? Like, and granted, he's a small guy, so he had to do something to keep up, but he's been one of the only people to take fitness seriously. He's 88, 87 years old, and he has broken his age like 3,500 some odd times in a row.
That's insane.
Right? And when I play with him, he plays up to like the white tees or the yellow tees now, wherever he plays. But, I mean, he hits at like 220. He's 88 years old. Hits at 220. He's still like doing squats. He's running every day. And you ask him, and he's like, one of the things that he feels is the most important with life and fitness is, one, be active, and two, eat half, like I think it says like eat half as much as you think you should. And like those are and smile and laugh a lot. Like I have a video and I can show you guys later, but like those are the three things he says.
Oh, wow.
Fitness, be active, smile and laugh a lot, and then eat half as much as you should. Think you should.
Yeah, that's...
I don't know if that quote's accurate, so Mr. Player, I'm sorry if I misquoted you. But we have a video of it, and I can show these guys later. Or we can plug it in here.
What are the secrets?
Yes, sir.
The two best secrets.
Yes, sir.
3, 4, to live a long time. To live a long time, you got to work at it.
Okay.
Undereat. Exercise. Laugh a lot.
Laugh a lot.
And have unmeasured love in your heart. You know what percentage of the world do that? Not even 1%.
Really?
Think about it.
I would say the biggest thing, probably one of my last questions, if Daryl, you have a few questions, go for it. What is it like if you kind of have to go to the course, put some videos on it? Like if you're playing a normal round of golf, do you always have the camera with you, or what?
Yeah, like I joke with my father-in-law. I'm like, the only 2 or 3 rounds of golf I play a year that I don't do social media are with him because he hates that I do it. But he also loves the benefits that he gets, like the free shoes and the free clothes.
I'm sure he has
like,
PXG clubs.
He has a few.
Yeah.
He got fit into some Cobras, and he has Cobra irons, but we're working on getting those away from him.
Slowly
converting. But no, so I don't play or use the camera with him. But typically, like what I'll do is I'll go out to the course like during middle of the week when it's not as busy, and I'll do like my normal work stuff from the course, and then at like 2 or 3 o'clock, whenever I get done, I'll go out and I'll play like 2 or 3 holes, and I'll change clothes every time, every hole. So then the videos look like I'm not wearing the same stuff. It's a little inside baseball for people. When you see me in different outfits multiple days in a row playing golf, it's typically filmed on the same day.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. I mean, my biggest thing is I was going to say, I didn't text you and tell you this, but it was funny. I got done playing the U.S. Open qualifier at River Landing, right? And I had to get into a playoff. It was 22 holes. It was a brutally long day. So I'm leaving. It's probably 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm leaving and going out of the community. I see you on the landing course, number 10, with a
Yep.
camera.
Oh, that
behind
was
the
you
green.
that honked the horn?
Yeah, that was me.
I thought it might have been like Larry George or Jet or somebody.
Nope. My black Tundra, it was me. And we ended up. I sat there and I was like, it's raining.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's like, look at this guy just out here grinding. I'm sitting there and I'm like, I don't even I should probably put more videos up just so I can look at my swing while I practice. I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty.
Well, it's helped me a ton. Like when I started doing social media stuff, I was like 16 handicap, 15 handicap maybe. I was shooting high 90s. And watching all the videos of my swing, like I'm down to like a 9. You know, I'm getting lessons some. A couple of my friends that are tour coaches, like I send a video every now and then. And I'm like, hey, what should I be doing? I should be coming up here and getting lessons from you guys because that would probably be a little more beneficial.
I was going to say, I mean, is the Break 80 series, is that still a thing? What's going on with that?
It is.
Let us help you, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
people don't want to watch me play golf though because I'm not that good.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of help that needs to be done for that series. But I'm still trying to play. Like I'm gonna talk about the club championship. It's a match play tournament at River Landing, so I'm gonna talk about that. Trying to play better for that. So there's things that I want to play better golf for. And obviously, when you get the opportunity to go play in a pro-am with Cam Smith,
you don't want
to shoot 96, right? Not ideal. You want to play good. Like you want to play good in front of Graham McDowell. And not have him like roast your swing. You're like, damn it, Graham. Like
Your swing looks like an octopus falling out of a tree.
yeah. I think it was him or Richard Bland, one of the two.
It was probably Bland.
It might have been Blandy, but he's like, mate, where are you lining up? Like your alignment's so bad. And I was like, you could have said that before I hit the ball. Like you could have just helped me out.
Exactly.
That's the competitor in them. People don't realize. Really, really good golfers would much rather watch you fail and then give you the tip.
Yeah.
They're not going to say, hey, buddy, I noticed this thing right here. You should go and make sure you're lined up this way. No, they're going to let you fail and be like, that was really good. You should just aim down the fairway this time.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened.
It's always going to have a smart remark.
We should do some time lapse stuff and get you in, kind of where you start, like set a date. And then see where we go, handicap wise.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
That would be. I mean, that's the coolest thing. I mean, like you said, you want to play good golf for different reasons.
Yeah,
right?
but that's part of golf in general and why everybody is getting drawn to it right now because it's aside from like tennis or volleyball or kickball or softball that you do with like the people you work with, golf is the only sport that you can play throughout your whole life. And me growing up as an athlete, like playing all the team sports and surfing, like I'm still super competitive. So even if I'm not playing like a match against somebody, I'm still fighting to like beat my last score or play better golf. And nobody wants to suck. It sucks to suck.
Yeah. I mean, it does. It does for sure. How long have you been playing?
A long time.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I should be better for as long as
I mean, honestly, the amount of time does not mean you're a good player.
No, like I grew up in Myrtle Beach, and like not playing golf there is
not an option.
Not an option, right? So I grew up in Myrtle Beach and grew up playing golf. Like played in all the junior leagues, played in high school.
Oh, awesome.
So I should be better than I am. No, but I didn't take it seriously. And I look back on it, and I think a lot of people do this now. They look back and they say like, man, I wish I would have taken golf seriously when I was a kid because then you could be on tour and you'd be making millions. But
I think
we're not. Honestly,
that has to do with how golf was marketed for a long time.
Yeah, it was boring.
Yeah.
That it was boring. It was this doesn't do too much with racing, but it was a white male predominant sport, late 40s to 50s. That's kind of how it was perceived.
I'm getting into that age group, though.
I was going to say it was not
mid-30s,
an inclusive game.
Exactly. No. And now I think we're seeing a lot of different walks of life, that are coming to play the game.
Yeah,
which I love. So, and also I think the people that are in high school and in college and thought that they were going to be this superstar. Like I thought I was going to kick field goals in the NFL, and that didn't happen. And when I became a golf pro, I realized that golf is something I can do, like he said, for the rest of my life.
Yeah. And my grandfather always told me that because he was the one that really like pushed me to get into golf. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was probably like 7 or 8, he took me out to a golf course in Florence, South Carolina. And he was like, just remember, you can play golf until you're like 80 or 60 or 70 or whatever. You can play golf for the rest of your life. Like all the other sports that you're playing, like they're going to stop at some point. You have a very low chance of going professional, any of those. And even the guys that are pros in the NFL or baseball or basketball, they're all playing golf.
Oh, I was going to say golf is insane. I mean, it's pretty cool. I saw a video the other day, like Arian Foster playing golf. I'm like, what?
You know who's really good is Patrick Peterson.
Really?
Yeah, from the Vikings, and I think he's at the Cardinals now. He's a cornerback. He's like a scratch.
That's insane. And I will say this too, golf is a sport. People are like, oh, golfers aren't athletes. Well, you take someone that's extremely athletic, has great hand-eye coordination, they're probably going to get pretty good at golf pretty fast.
Yeah. I mean, you look at guys like Josh Allen and like Steph Curry, all those guys are massive golf fans. Like I was at the Masters this year and I was at like a after party thing and I turn around and from me to you, Daryl, is Josh Allen and what's that redheaded kid that played for the Panthers last year, the quarterback?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. It was Josh Allen and Sam Darnold. I'll turn around, I'm like, huh. And he looks at me, I was like, what's up, bro?
So,
What's up, Josh?
Carolina hasn't had a quarterback in a long time. So
Couldn't remember his
We'll
name.
see. We got a good one now.
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young. We'll see.
Well,
what he
we'll
does.
see.
We'll see. I mean, everybody's picking on the size, but
Roll Tide.
Did you see that
You get a
video
guy
of
like
him
Drew
that
Brees,
he was so small against the O-line? He looks like a 12-year-old.
Well, I mean, good news is he played against the best O-line in college football at Alabama, where they're all still 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
So
They're all going to the NFL.
yeah, so which is pretty cool. But I will say you have two types of golfers right now, which is pretty funny. Like I had a great fitting last night, and I asked guys like, "How long you been playing?" And he's like, "Oh, I've only been playing for about 2 years now." I said, you started playing golf during COVID, didn't you? I was like, yep. He was like, yep. And I was like, that's awesome because in the past it used to be, I grew up playing golf, got away with it, got away from it when I went to college, got a job. Now I'm back into it. So like you have
my
that,
story.
you have that, which is the majority of all of our stories.
Yeah.
But now we also have, I needed something to do. I picked it up during COVID. So it's kind of refreshing. We have a little bit of a shift in golf right now that there's so many new people in the business. I mean, and I would say part of it is to like golf content as a whole. I mean, my Instagram page,
It's flooded.
it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I mean, we're on YouTube, but YouTube now is insane. That brings up a point I want to ask. Are you going to get into any golf YouTube stuff or?
Maybe I tried. It's like for me, like I'm really good, I found, in front of the camera. And I enjoy that side of it, but I can't stand doing anything editing wise. So for me, like coming from my background in marketing, I wanted to make like whatever I did on YouTube just as good as like the photos or videos we were putting out on like short form, like Instagram Reels, right? And I couldn't do that because I didn't have the person behind the scenes to edit it. And even when you start looking at like Brian Bros or Peter Finch or Rick Shields, like they have teams of people that are doing everything. Like the Brian Bros have editors. Like you would think it's just Wesley and George, but they have editors. They have guys that are making their what's it called, cover page thing for YouTube. Like it takes a lot of time to do YouTube. So, and I wanted to do it really well. Couldn't do
Gotcha.
it.
Yeah. Darryl, you got any questions for him?
I think you covered it all.
Oh no.
You're really quiet over there.
Well,
I was gonna say, Blair, you have any questions for us or anything before we wrap it up? Anything?
Yeah, I do
plug?
about Michael Block. Bringing this back to the PGA Championship.
Yep.
He got sponsors exemptions into the Charles Schwab and the RBC Canadian Open. Do you think that a PGA professional is going to be able to make cuts at those, given like the effort it takes to play week in and week out on the PGA Tour?
I'd say for him, there's a high chance. I've just been able to play with him often.
I'll say he actually knows Michael Block.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, as a TaylorMade staffer,
He's gotten his butt beat by him.
yes. Well,
That's what he said.
We played in TP Classics, which is for staff. It's a staff program. Basically, it's like 6 tournaments a year. It qualifies you for the national event at Pebble Beach. 2 years ago, took the kids to Disney and lined it up with a TP Classic that was at Streamsong.
Okay. So that's on the bucket list for me.
So good.
You just named 2 courses on the bucket
so
list.
good.
So
Pebble
good.
and Stream
So
Song.
good.
Okay, so I'm 6 under through 15 holes. I purposely did not put the GGID in on the scorecard, which is we use an app that does live scoring.
What's GGID?
It's Golf Genius.
It's Golf Genius.
You know the Golf Genius scoring system?
It's what the professionals
It's what
use.
all clubs are now using
Yeah.
to run their tournaments. It's a tournament operations system.
Okay.
Basically, what it does, it gives you a live leaderboard.
You can-
so
yeah.
you put your scores in instead of doing the old school scorecard. So I was doing the old school scorecard, just like I have old school notes here instead of iPhones. But I think I have this thing pretty much in the bag.
Yeah.
Well, I logged in on 16. Michael Block is 10 under through 16 holes
On StreamSong.
on StreamSong.
What course on StreamSong?
I
Black?
think it was the red.
It was the
course.
red, yeah, the Core and Crenshaw, yeah.
And I just felt like the wind get knocked out. So I think he finished 9 under, and I proceeded to make a double and didn't have the strongest finish, but the guy's just incredible. Great player. I think he has what it takes to compete out there.
Well, he's played in
played in so many
I say he's played in
events.
he played in American Express this year. Michael Block, the guy, he has
He's got the game.
He has the game. He's played in the arena.
Yeah.
So I think that's what gave him the kind of the step up of how is he going to address playing on the weekend? He's like, you know what, I got the game. Like, I just need to do what I need to do. I think it's tough for him coming off the most mentally exhausting week of his life.
Yeah.
His life changed this week. We're talking about him in Wilmington, North Carolina. My dad said it, I wish he got to choose his sponsor exemptions because I'm sure he would rather take this week off.
Yeah.
So he can rest, recover.
Yeah. And
Because
that's the biggest
it's going to be
question.
tough for him to make the cut this week just because of how mentally exhausted
Yeah.
I'm sure he is.
That's the
or
biggest-
he's just going to ride the high. You
Plus,
never
I mean,
know.
that's the first major that he's made the cut. I mean, just the celebrations alone and the phone calls, the emails, the interviews. I mean,
Well, that's the biggest question you see. You see the guys on tour, and that's what I think the hardest part about professional golf is that is really not spoken about a lot. It's the play day in, day out, week in, week out. I have friends of the guys that do it every week, and they're flying to different events on Sunday night. They get there on Monday morning. So that's what I'm interested to see. How can a club professional who's not used to leaving Rochester, New York to fly to wherever the Charles Schwab is, right?
Texas, Fort
Worth, right? He leaves Rochester. He flies to Fort Worth Sunday night, Monday morning, and he has Tuesday, Wednesday to get ready for a tournament that starts on Thursday. That's going to be the hardest thing. He's changing everything from the temperature to the grass to his body, how it feels, the elevation, all of it is going into
this week. This week, I think he still has a good chance of making the cut because it's a short course. But I mean, Oak Hill was crazy long and he played well, but this is not a long course off the tee. It's a precision course. RBC Canadian Open. I'm sorry, Blocky. I don't think you're going to do it there because that tournament is a powder puff shootout. They set up the course soft. I mean, 25 under win last year, something ridiculous. The cut was 5 under.
Yeah.
I mean, those guys. That's the thing. You give the best players in the world a soft golf course, they are gonna tear it up.
Yeah.
Colonial is not soft where they're at this week.
Well, I played during COVID. I played with Scott Stallings at Kiowa, and we played Cougar Point. And it was soft. It wasn't really running very far. We played from the back tees. It was 7,400 yards, something like that. And
long.
He
on
shot
the ocean.
No, Cougar Point's through the marsh.
Well, I know.
But sea level.
But
at sea level, yeah.
It's right next to the ocean.
And it was windy, right?
Yeah.
He shot 61.
Jesus.
Talk about another guy that fitness, mobility, CrossFit has changed his career.
Oh, yeah.
For the better.
Dude, Scott he's getting into playing his best golf right now. And he's told me that the best is yet to come for him. And it's just to a point now after losing all the weight that his swing and his body is starting to feel like he's feeling normal with everything. So I'm excited to see what he can do. He's a good friend.
I think golf's in a good spot right now. I mean, we had another storyline this week. Golf content is in a good spot. It seems like it's just growing every single day.
Hope so.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Going from there.
Well, Larry, I want to say thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you, guys.
And thank you for supporting Loggerhead. Always love seeing you come in and love watching your post. And keep making the content, brother. I think that's it keeps people interested in the game, and I think that's your way of growing the game is engaging people that we normally wouldn't pull from. You know, we pull a lot from the country clubs
Yep.
that are surrounding here. But what I like is the fact I got a guy that so many local business owners now that are coming in that you typically wouldn't notice. I have a gentleman right across the street owns a nail salon and some like some tea bars.
He owns a bunch of stuff.
He owns a bunch of stuff. Yeah, great business owner. But I mean,
Good for him.
He is the nicest guy in the world. But he's samurai from neck down, full tats.
Sick.
But he is serious about his game. He just bought a whole new set of Muras.
Nice.
And,
Yeah.
Good for him.
Nicest guy in the world. I love seeing guys like that come in that are just so enthusiastic about learning how to play the game, but wanting to get better. That's serious about it and asking a ton of questions.
Yeah. Well, that like one of my good friends is Jeff DeGroot. He owns South End Surf Shop, and I went in there the other day and bought a new surfboard. And he was like asking me questions about golf. He's like, "Oh, I'm getting really into it. I'm playing a couple times a week. I joined Cape Fear, like all the stuff." And he was like, "Yeah, let's go play." Like all the things. I was like, "You need to go to Loggerhead and figure some stuff out before you."
Well, that's nice.
Like
of you.
get really
thank you for
really
doing
into
that.
it.
Well, I just went into the surf shop the other day, and he did the same thing because he saw my truck and he's like, "That truck is sweet."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Thanks, man."
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say your side of the business is definitely growing the game. That's what people don't realize. The golf business is huge. Right?
Yeah,
There's so many different parts.
We looked at that with pliability,
Yeah.
right? And because they were a CrossFit brand, and we looked at it. I think there's like 10 million CrossFitters in the world, and they were like, "Well, how big do you think golf could be for us?" And I said, "Well, to put it in perspective, there's like 35 million golfers in the United States. Like that's a lot of people."
Yeah, I think that's registered. Like it's insane.
But that's
Like,
people they
there's-
consider golfers that play seriously, like
Yeah.
more than 6 times a year. They own a set of clubs. They're not just going. That's not people just going to Top Golf. Exactly. And then you start talking about the ancillary things in golf, like golf adjacent stuff, like Top Golf or Pop Stroke or the Cradle at Pinehurst. That can be accessible to everybody. That's where golf is going to continue to grow and bring new people into the game. Like getting into the stuff like that and getting into the stuff that's bringing in the kids, the women, the people from different backgrounds, all that stuff, getting them into the game.
Super cool. Well, Blair, tell our listeners where they can find you.
I'm all over the internet in the good way. I'm not in the bad way. You can follow me at Blair Wheeler on Instagram, on Twitter, on what's the other one? TikTok. I hate TikTok, but I'm all over those. You follow me, or you probably see me just around town.
See them around town. Well, Blair, thank you for coming on. Real quick, listeners, I want to remind you we're giving away PGA Championship golf bag. This video, let's get this video to 1,000 likes. You got to like, you got to comment, you got to be subscribed. Give yourself a chance to win a limited edition PGA Championship 2023 golf bag. Appreciate you guys for coming on, and see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Perfect.